Hi, I'm Villella, and welcome to the Rainbow Connection, a dialogic exhibition where the goal is to galvanize the queer community and build relationships that have withered as we spread out, a direct result of acceptance. These culture gaps can be healed by giving queer people insight into themselves and others, and addressing internal phobias by welcoming conversation. This exhibition by the American LGBTQ Museum and the Generations Project hopes to not only build unity, but also record more of our oral history. The exhibition will be free and open to the public, but is targeted specifically for the queer community at large, with the goal of strengthening intra-community bonds. The center, a trusted resource for the community, is on West 13th Street in New York City. It will be the first home of this exhibition, but it will travel all over the country to 14 other community-based sites. There are 9 major key concepts covering different aspects of equity, health, and identity. These are spread over 12 major exhibit areas, totaling about 9,200 square feet over 3 floors, leaving enough space for the center to continue their critical operations without disruption. The visual identity system is deeply rooted in representation. The 11 colors of the Progress Pride flag are the basis of all color, and 2 typefaces also have queer roots. Gilbert Color, designed in commemoration of Gilbert Baker, the designer of the original Pride flag, and Gil Sans, used extensively in queer publications historically. There are 2 visual icons, the rainbow path and visual confetti. The rainbow path is a wayfinding device, and the visual confetti is derived from the forms in the logo, the iterations of which coalesce as you move through the exhibition. The signage system uses these same visual confetti forms in various formats. At the street level, you're greeted by the rainbow path, which stays with you throughout the participant journey, and is a closed loop that will eventually take you back to where you started. It exists in many forms, but is always continuous, full color, and unbroken, representing unity. The exterior portions are anodized steel and are perforated in places to allow visibility and daylight access. The exterior portions are also permanent, providing an icon as well as amenities to the center. Every iteration of the exhibition will receive a permanent gift for the hosts, a symbol of the mark connectivity leaves on us and our community. Here, this is the Rainbow Path. In the introduction area, you're given an overview of the exhibition and greeted warmly. You're offered a button on which you can write your name or pronouns in a color of your choosing. You're asked to wear this throughout your journey so the staff can discern exhibition goers from other visitors to the center. This is one of several communal spaces within the exhibition, but is also flexible in that it can relatively easily be cleared for larger scale events, still leaving introductory content available. It includes a meeting space and a maker space, which we'll discuss more later. Moving beyond the welcome area, the first exhibit you'll encounter is Overcoming Our Queer Phobias, What Are You Afraid Of?, which aims to teach queer people about each other using false comparisons that can make us look like monsters, but revealing the ridiculous truth behind the phobias we internalize. It leverages lenticular graphics, Pepper's Ghost-inspired digital media, objects, and large-scale graphics to make these comparisons, while at the same time sharing the real stories without falsification or bias. Continuing up to the second floor, you'll first encounter political justice, which begins with Keith Haring and the AIDS crisis, placed in the iconic Keith Haring room at the center, and then moves on to Order in the Court, an object theater experience where the iconic objects themselves share a first-person narrative, speaking to an historic queer event that it witnessed. Each object is illuminated as it speaks, while the gruff judges insert ridiculous commentary and ask pointed and brash questions of the objects. The directional audio and lighting make it possible for this to be a self-guided experience. Next door is social justice, a spiraled space with little to see but silhouettes. They begin to speak and display those same words via projection as you approach. You can talk to them, but they will only repeat their anti-LGBTQ rhetoric. 2 of the corners, however, host silhouettes that are a bit more interactive, and the third corner is an area with soothing music and a bit of daylight. All audio is directional, so many people can explore without disturbing one another. The glowing core of the spiral is lined with 6 silhouettes on both the inside and outside, mirroring the same forms. These 6 individuals share their views both before and after a life event that changed their point of view, giving insight into how and why people change their minds. Across the hall, you'll continue to the acceptance dilemma, which presents information in 3 formats. First, on a flat wall. Second, in alcoves. And thirdly, and frustratingly, on a glass wall with layered text and images on pivoting panels, often moving the panel behind them in seemingly random ways. The information is only made clear when the panels are brought into alignment by the participant. They are so loosely tensioned that they will reset themselves just from people walking by, and during busy times, keeping the panels in place to read the information might require you to hold it in place, giving you a sense of what it feels like to struggle to access resources. Since they only rotate 15 degrees, there's no danger to passersby, and the maximum gap between them is 4 inches, with a minimum gap of 1 inch for finger space between panels. The heart and namesake of the exhibition, the Rainbow Connection experience, is where you are paired with a stranger and are given objects based on your mutual interests. You will sit with this person and the objects for 20 minutes or more, desire and availability permitting. This activation was prototyped over 2 iterations with a total of 20 one-on-one meetings. Even participants that didn't end up having much in common easily kept talking for 25 minutes or so, which was the basis for the 20-minute conversation. Exit surveys revealed over 80% of participants learned something surprising about the other person, and 2/3 of participants said they would like to keep in touch with the other person. Many also noted the objects eased their anxieties and gave them something to talk about. The entire process is facilitated, and there is a safety net in place. There are professional facilitators on hand at all times. The hope is that the exhibit experiences, both before and after this activation, will cement some of those bonds even more profoundly than in prototyping. After the Rainbow Connection experience are colorful minds and colorful bodies. Since you're released at the same time as your one-on-one partner, the hope is some of these people will continue to explore together, having time built in for bonds to begin to solidify. All areas following the Rainbow Connection experience are highly participatory, leaving room for guests to generate content for one another, but providing enough content to find plenty to do on your own. Colorful Minds focuses on historical figures and moves on to discussing gender identity. Colorful Bodies is where you experience direct first-person narrative, audio and video across the 3 galleries in a more communal format. The content increases in intensity as you move through, so content warnings and the ability to exit at regular intervals are designed in. Counterculture is where you get a glimpse into 3 queer subcultures: street, dyke bar, and darkroom. Operated by local queer bars, it's a real bar and it really serves. Since the exhibition is free, this is where the money is made and provides not only an additional social opportunity, but also respite from the intensive content in Colorful Bodies. The final space is You Belong, You Are Loved. You can read a wall of love notes and add to it, sit and reflect on your own experiences, or maybe continue a conversation you started earlier in the day. It's your space. The content here is completely participant generated and is whatever you need it to be at this stage of your journey. The rainbow path from here leads you back down to the introductory area where you're asked to greet the next group of visitors that come through the door. While this is your last task, this is not where your journey has to end. If you wish, you can keep talking to new people in the makerspace, people in all stages of their journey. Since participants stop here at the beginning of their journey and at the end of their journey, you'll have a robust group from both parties, as well as any visitors that have wished to return here at any point during their journey. When you're ready, from here, you can take the experiences with you back into the world. Thank you.